Welcome to Leigh Dickey TV. Hit subscribe to follow along with the fun. Now let's get on to today's video. How I would have introduced Kurt Angle when he debuted in the WWE. I tell you, next. Alright, so how would I have introduced Kurt Angle in the WWE back in 1999 when he originally debuted? So, I think what actually happened was he was originally going to go to ECW. I think the story's been told where it's like Taz brought him in and he was just going to do some stuff with them because he was coming off winning that Olympic gold medal in Atlanta in 1996. And something happened with that whole thing with Raven, Sandman, and happened at what is now the 2300 arena. Back then it was the ECW arena, and it just didn't go well. It offended a lot of people, Kurt Angle included, and he's like, look, just send me my check. I'm leaving. I'm not coming in. We're not doing this. I'm not working with you anymore. And he left. So, and then I think he was originally contacted by the WWE. I could be wrong. But he, for some reason, turned them down because it wasn't, I think this was like shortly after he'd won the gold medal in Atlanta. He'd turned them down because like the WWE, it's technically like sports entertainment. Like professional wrestling is basically sports entertainment. It's choreographed, but you know, injuries do happen and things like that. But what Kurt basically was doing was Olympic style, collegiate style wrestling, and that's not, say, professional wrestling. That's not like what AEW is. It's not what Impact, formerly TNA. That's not what WCW was. That's not what WWE is and or ever was. So he turned them down, apparently. I think that they wanted, I don't know whether this is just my opinion, but maybe the WWE wanted to capitalize on having both, say, Kurt Angle and Mark Henry, you know, have them both under one roof at the same time. Not that didn't happen like eventually, because both Mark Henry and Kurt Angle went on to have long careers within WWE, and like it eventually worked out. But if my memory serves me correctly, and if I've got the story right, he was originally approached by the WWE, turned them down, and then turned on Raw in like 1998. Called them back, and he had to, instead of being offered like a contract like he was initially back shortly after he'd won the gold medal, he basically had to go in the hard, like come into the business the hard way, or the right way if you want to put it that. Like he had to come through like developmental, get training. Like I think he got training from like Tom Pritchard and Dory Funk Jr. and learned to take bumps and stuff like that and learn how the business works. And he's been praised throughout his entire career. I think, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin has said it best. He's like, look, I've never seen anybody pick it up as quickly as Kurt Angle. And that's true, because keep in mind, like when Kurt sort of made his debut, I think he was like 31 years old or close to it, right? So to be like just north of 30 and to make your sort of debut as a professional athlete and a professional wrestler, it's pretty unheard of. So, like, unless you say somebody like a Bill Goldberg, I can't think of anybody else that's done that. So, you know, that's how he came in. Late 99, he had to come in the hard way, or like what you could say the right way is, by getting training from like Dory Funk Jr., Tom Pritchard, and others, learning to take bumps, and coming in, like, I guess, doing dark matches and segments, and basically learning how the business worked from the ground up, and, you know, paying his dues, so to speak. I remember in late 99, they were really running these vignettes on Kurt coming in. They were really like trying to push him as sort of like a good guy, a babyface. Like this milquetoast, white meat babyface, like this wholesome babyface, like they had done. It was very cartoonish almost. Granted, you wanted to play up that Olympic gold medal, but it was very cartoonish like it was back in like 94, 95, in the early part of say 96. It didn't go over well, right? Like you want to book somebody that way, they're going to come in to a chorus of boos. You want to push them as like the good guys, the baby face. Well, guess what? The crowd's going to turn on them, and they're going to come in, like they're going to instantly go, you know, they're going to turn them into like the bad guy, the guy they don't like, into the heel, if you will. And trying to push somebody like that hard, that quickly, as a babyface, I can't see that ever working. It's always, to me, as a fan, like, I don't have any inside knowledge of the business, right? I've not ever worked in wrestling. But as a fan, I think it's just easier to come in as a heel, right? But they're playing off that gold medal he had won in Atlanta 3 years prior. And that's where I guess Vince McMahon wanted to go with him, and it just didn't work. And I remember watching Survivor Series 99, because I think that was his pay-per-view debut against Sean Stasiak, who I think is now a chiropractor or a doctor somewhere down in the US. But I remember thinking, like, oh, that's cool. Like, I remember thinking it was cool because he was an actual, like, Olympic wrestler, and that he had won the gold medal. And now that he's in the WWE or WWF at the time, I just thought it was cool to have him there, right? I was like 10 years old at the time, so what did I know? And, you know, watching the match back, because it's available on YouTube, you can tell that the crowd wasn't really into it, because, like, Kurt was brand spanking new, and, you know, just getting his feet wet, so to speak, and the crowd sort of turned on him mid-match. And I think Kurt's told this story where, like, whoever his referee was, I can't remember who it was. It might have been one of the Hebner brothers or Mike Chioda. I really don't remember. Said that the referee had told him to get out of the, like, just to stop doing what he was doing, roll out of the ring, and cut a promo and just say, like, you don't boo an Olympic gold medalist, because they wanted at the time that he had debuted, they wanted to make him the ultimate good guy, and the crowd just wasn't into it. So I guess mid-match, they decided to basically turn him heel, and it worked, right? Like, they wanted to switch him heel mid-match. Now, this is his pay-per-view debut, to my knowledge, and it worked. He was one of the best heels ever, right? Like, I think it's just easier to come in earmarked as a heel and then switch babyface, switch to being a good guy, because you've already, like, if you can prove that you can rock as a bad guy, I mean, getting over as a good guy isn't, like, it can't be, it's much easier for you in that sense, because the fans, they know who you are, they get to sort of see what you can do, and they get to respect you as just this wrestler. But they tried to push him as, like, the ultimate babyface, and it just didn't work. And I think the WWE tried to do that with The Rock when he debuted. I think it was Survivor Series 96 or somewhere around there, and it just didn't work, right? So you switch him heel, and then he just becomes The Rock, right? Now, of course, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, is now this ultra mega movie star who just can do no wrong. And, you know, to turn somebody like a Kurt Angle heel mid-match, they don't do that anymore, right? They don't read the crowd anymore, I think. And I think, or maybe they're just scared to do what they did back then. Now, granted, it was a different time, but it worked then. I think if they decided to do it now, it would probably work. Like, why not? I'm not saying that, like, you go back to the old ways, but you can always use things from where you were to get to where you want to go. That's what I'm saying, right? You take things from the past that worked and then use them to sort of build on to your future. Now, in terms of how I would have introduced Kurt Angle had I been the booker and or in charge at WWE at the time, back in like 99, the company, like the WWE actually did that, what I actually want to do, you know, how I would have introduced him, in about 2005, 2006, right before he left the company because of some sort of outside issues that he had. And they turned him into like this wrestling machine and got him on their ECW brand, right? Like he was the main guy. They built that whole thing around him, and they just turned him into like this unstoppable wrestling machine. Now, that's what I would do. Just play off that Olympic gold medal if you want, really push that, and push him as this unstoppable wrestling machine, albeit, say, a wrestling god. Like, I know that JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, used that years later, but you want to turn him into like this unstoppable wrestling machine, because, I mean, the guy has an Olympic background. He's got that amateur background, right? Like, why wouldn't you want to play off of that. Just turn him into like this unstoppable force, this immovable object, this wrestling machine that can bend you 75,000 ways from Sunday, right? Like, that is the easiest thing to do. And that's just my opinion. Like, why wouldn't you want somebody, say like a Kurt Angle, to come in and play off that Olympic background and just have him booked to be this unstoppable machine? Like, he had one of the best rookie years in the WWE ever. Like, he won the European Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, the King of the Ring, right? And the WWE Championship, all within his first year within the company. Like, he was white hot as a heel, and like, he was a great heel, to be honest. I think he was a better heel than he was a babyface. But just to have him come in as an absolute wrecking machine, an absolute wrestling machine who could bend people into pretzels, would be the easiest way to bring him in. Like, these promos would probably be like, hey, I'm Kurt Angle. I'm an Olympic gold medalist, and I'm going to turn you more ways than a 33 vinyl record. Like, just have him turn you, twist you in more ways than Chubby Checker. I mean, come on. That's the easiest way to do it. And that's how I would do it, honestly. Just bring him in as this unstoppable machine. Like, I wouldn't bring him in as a Taz, even though, like, the WWE did that with Taz coming in at the Royal Rumble in 2000 and handing Kurt Angle, I think, his first ever loss that was televised and or on, like, pay-per-view or whatever, and then just have Kurt pass out, even though they didn't do much with Taz after that. But, like, to have sort of Taz and Kurt Angle in an actual program, like, two sort of wrestling and suplex machines, because that's basically what they were in their prime, like, that's, or even at the beginnings of their careers, like, that would have been something. I mean, as I said, Kurt made his professional debut, I think he was just north of 30. He might have been like 31. And Taz, I'm not sure when he got to WWE. I think he might have been in his 30s as well. So, but the fact that, like, you have these two sort of, like, unstoppable wrestling machines, or even just booking Kurt as this unstoppable wrestling machine and then having Taz come in as a surprise at any point. Like, sure, you can keep it at the Royal Rumble, and then just making sure that they have, like, this incredible fight, this incredible match that ultimately Taz wins after maybe like 20 or 30 minutes. I'd book it for like a 20 or 30 minute, right? Like, I'd want it to be competitive. But having Kurt come in as this unstoppable wrestling machine is basically what I would do. Have him just go, I'm Kurt Angle, and I'm going to twist you like a pretzel, and I'm going to turn you more ways than a 33 vinyl record or a 45 or whatever. Just, like, have him cut promos and, like, just tell people that he's this unstoppable wrestling machine, and then have him go on his like that rookie year run where he wins the European Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, and the WWE Championship along with the King of the Ring. Like, that's the ultimate sort of rookie year within that company. And it's just, I mean, like, why wouldn't you do something like that? But that's basically how I would book Kurt Angle, or how I would have booked Kurt Angle when he came into the WWE in late 1999. Just have him come in as this unstoppable wrestling machine and build on him from there. But there you go. That's how I would book Kurt Angle, or how I would have booked Kurt Angle had I been in charge with sort of the creative at WWE in late 1999, having a 10-year-old me book WWE back in those days. I mean, like, now I am in my 30s and I'm looking back on it. That's how I would do it. Have Kurt Angle come in as this unstoppable force, this unstoppable wrestling machine, and then just build on him from there. All right, so there it is. There you have it. How I would have introduced Kurt Angle to the WWE audience had I been in charge in 1999. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Leave us a thumbs up. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcast app and player of choice, as the audio form of this episode will go up as an episode of both Pinfall, a pro wrestling podcast, my pro wrestling podcast, and Yo Nostalgia. Links in the description and show notes for you all. Again, please do comment, like, share, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, the audio version of these videos are on your favorite podcast apps and players of choice. Links to all my podcasts are down in the description and show notes for you all. Again, hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. I have been Leigh Dickey. This wraps up another video on Leigh Dickey TV and another podcast. But we will see you in the next one. Please do take care, and we will talk to you later. All right, Leigh Dickey signing off. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to Leigh Dickey TV. New episodes are available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe to follow along with the fun.